Hey, how's it going? This is Melinda and welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing a video that I thought would be a lot of fun and a very cool discussion. Many of us have favorite albums that we love in our collections, and some of us are guilty of having more than one copy of each album in our collection. So I have some of those, and I thought it would be fun to listen which sounds better, the reissue or an original. And I have some surprising answers on here. And I've taken some notes, so occasionally I am going to look to the side, and that's what I'm doing, reading my notes. But anyway, my husband and I, over the past week, we listened to a couple tracks from each of the albums, and we listened intently and discussed what we thought, and I took notes about each one of them. And so I will get started. Here is an amazing album. This is Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here. This is my original 1975 US press. Sounds good, except for in some of the quiet parts of the music. Because it is an older press and it is used, I don't know what happened to it along the way, but there's a few snaps and crackles. It's just a little distracting when you're trying to listen to some of the quiet passages of the album. So I decided to get a reissue, not because the music sounded bad, but because I wanted a quieter press. So I went ahead and picked up this reissue. It's a 2016 reissue. It is remastered by James Guthrie, Joel Plante, and Bernie Grundman. And it is a quiet, nice pressing. And so what I did is I took a couple of the louder sounding presses of each album. That way the pops and crackles of the silent presses doesn't affect my judgment. We listened to the songs Have a Cigar and Welcome to the Machine. So first off is Have a Cigar. We listened to both very intently, and we both kind of came to the conclusion that on this 1975 press, we thought the bass was a little too up front, and it was harder to hear the voice. The voice wasn't quite as loud as we liked. Where on the reissue, we thought it was a better balance and you could hear the voice much better. And so we enjoyed that song on the reissue better. And for the song Welcome to the Machine, although we will say we both thought that the song Welcome to the Machine on 1975's original sounded really good and was improvement over Have a Cigar, we still thought the sound of the Welcome to the Machine was better on the reissue. So for these two copies, we do believe this Wish You Were Here reissue is better than the original, which really surprised me. A lot of times I always think, well, you just stick with the original. However, in that case, the reissue won out. The next one I'm going to go to is a wonderful record that I have enjoyed since I was a kid. This is 1983's Quiet Riot Mental Health. And I can still remember being in middle school at a middle school dance and hearing the song Mental Health, and when they're screaming bang your head. I literally saw kids in my class get on the floor and bang their head. So anyway, interesting memories and a really cool album. I love Slick Black Cadillac, Come On Feel the Noise, Don't Want to Let You Go, Thunderbird. There's some really, really great songs on here. And anyway, this particular copy of mine has a warp. I had a little bit better copy. I sent it to a really good friend of mine here in the VC, knowing that I was always going to upgrade this and find something a little bit better. And lo and behold, not that long ago, I got a really great opportunity. I picked up this new pressing. It is from Music on Vinyl, and it is a 35th anniversary limited edition of 2,000 copies on a translucent vinyl. And I'll show you the vinyl because it's really beautiful, on 180 grams, so it's a really good quality. And if you're familiar with Music on Vinyl, they always deliver with really great sounding pressings. So I picked this one up knowing I couldn't miss and that I would have a wonderful upgrade to my Quiet Riot Mental Health. Well, is that what happened? Well, I put it to the test, and I played the first one I played was a song called Don't Want to Let You Go. And let's see, let me find the notes for this. I took some notes. Yes, Don't Want to Let You Go was the first one we listened to. And To be honest, the music on vinyl sound for us on that song was muddy. We didn't think it sounded very good. We thought it was much cleaner, much crisper on the original. So then we went on and listened to the song Mental Health. And to be honest, we thought with that one, it was a draw. They both sounded good. Neither one really stood out to us to sound better. So I put on a third choice with this particular record, and I put on Thunderbird. And when the chorus goes into Fly Up Thunderbird Fly, the music on vinyl pressing sounded very shrill, and we didn't enjoy that at all. We thought the 1983 pressing sounded better. So that really surprised me, because of all reissues, I thought a music on vinyl reissue would be an amazing sounding, and I'm very disappointed. This is my first disappointment with music on vinyl. So anyway, I award the winning press to be the original for Quiet Riot Mental Health. The next record that I am going to choose, this is a really nice classic. It is Physical Graffiti. This particular copy was a gift given to me. It is the 40th anniversary edition on 180 gram vinyl, and it is mastered and produced by Jimmy Page. So very, very nice copy. However, after buying this one, I found one and I couldn't resist buying it. It is a very early, and I believe it's a first press, but if it's not a first press, it's very early. This is a Japanese press of Physical Graffiti, and it was in pristine condition. I paid pretty good money for it, but I just couldn't resist having a beautiful copy of this album. So when we put these two together and listened, first song we chose was Cashmere, and we both agreed that the one sound by Jimmy Page, the 40th anniversary, sounded good. It was a quiet press. However, we thought with Cashmere that the Japanese press had heavier drums, and we just thought Robert Plant's voice sounded better. So on Cashmere, we really gave the nod to the Japanese press. Then we went on to the song Houses of the Holy, which is another killer song on this album we both love. And again, the reissue by Jimmy Page, no complaints, nothing wrong with it. We just thought the Japanese press had cleaner highs and a better bass for it. So in the end, we chose the Japanese original to sound better than the 40th anniversary press. And you know, there was a part of me that was kind of relieved because I paid a lot of money for that one. And so I'm glad to know I do have a really great sounding press of that. And now I'm going to discuss different versions of the album Rubber Soul by the Beatles. Just a fantastic record, and I'll show this one. This is a US first press that I have, and I'll show you the way you can really tell. You can tell if it's a first press or not. If you look at this label, it says John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr. It does not say the Beatles. That got corrected on the second pressings, so if you have one and it doesn't say the Beatles, you know you have a first press. Next up is a really wonderful one. This is from my, this is a stereo version, and it's from my Japanese Beatles box set. Came out in I think around 1979 or right around that time. This one is a really good clean press, and I really enjoy it as well. And so when you are comparing US pressings with UK pressings, most of you know, if you know Beatles music, that the track listings were different on US pressings than they were on the UK pressings. So I chose songs that were on both of these albums, and the first one I chose was a song called Norwegian Wood, a really, really beautiful song and one of my favorites on this album. And the US press, when I was listening to it, I noticed that the sitar was really loud, very prominent, but it was a very clean copy of the song, and I really enjoyed it. For the Japanese press, I noticed that there was also a really beautiful, well-balanced sound, but I thought John's voice was a little weaker, and so I didn't really care for that. However, I did think it sounded good, and I really couldn't choose between the two of these of which one I thought was actually better. So I went ahead and pulled one more of my copies out. This is a 2012 reissue. It's a mono press. And I thought with this one, the music had a well-balanced sound. I thought the sitar was softer on this one and the voices were better. So for the song Norwegian Wood, I really thought this particular issue was the better of the three. And then I went on and chose the song In My Life. That's on the US and the UK pressings. That to me is just one of the Beatles' absolute classics, one of their best, beautiful. And so when I played the US pressing for that one, I thought John's voice was right out in front, and I thought the keyboard solo was very nice and precise on that one. You know, with the as far as the harmonies and the melodies of this song, very, very beautiful, but I really think the lyrics of this song are what make this song so special. So having his voice right out front like that, I enjoy. I don't think that's a problem at all. On the Japanese stereo version, I really thought that the vocals had a better sound. They were clean and crisp, and I thought the separation of the sounds on this one served the vocals better. So I really enjoyed the stereo version of this one as well. And then for the 2012 reissue, I thought a very well-balanced sound, cleaner than the first press in the music. And also I thought the full sound of the mono was just very, very enjoyable. So out of these three albums, even though I think they're all great, I have to say that I do think that this 2012 mono press is the best for my ears. I think the stereo version is very good. It makes it sound a lot more modern, but when I'm listening to Rubber Soul, I really like that vintage mono sound. So I'm going to go with that to be my favorite of the Rubber Soul Beatles albums. And with that, that is the end of my video. Please let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree, you disagree, and please subscribe and take care. Thanks. Bye.